Rams house. On today's episode of the Rams Report by Chat Sports, we've got some news and rumors to discuss. The Rams have begun their search for a special teams coordinator with their first interview request coming in yesterday. We're going to talk about that candidate and break down that potential hire. And then we've got some news to discuss around Davante Adams. Some people discussing what might be on the agenda for him in 2026. I'm going to weigh in on that. But before we get into today's show, I want to hear from you in the comment section. Who is your favorite Ram of all time? I want to know. I know there's so many to pick from. If I had to go with just one Rams player, give me Steven Jackson. He was one of the studs of my childhood in St. Louis. Not a lot of great Rams from that era to pick from, unfortunately, but Steven Jackson was definitely getting it done for us. I think he deserves a gold jacket. Let me know who your favorite Ram of all time is in the comments, and let's get into today's show. So, like I said off the top, the focus of the first half of today's show is going to be the Rams special teams coordinator search. The first interview request coming in for Browns special teams coordinator and assistant head coach Bubba Ventrone. And if you're not familiar with Bubba Ventrone, unfortunately I am, and my immediate reaction to this was, oh no, we're gonna suck again. Bubba Ventrone, at the end of the day, while definitely seen as kind of a bright mind in special teams over the last few years, you've seen reports like that from Tom Pelissero, he cannot be the Rams special teams coordinator. Guys, I'm telling you, the agent fluff that you hear from Tom Pelissero does not outweigh the actual statistics around the Browns special teams. We were bad on special teams last year. Absolutely we were. No one's going to say that we weren't. I think we ranked in the bottom 20s. But look at the Browns. They're one of the only teams lower than us, ranked 29th in total special teams last season. We're moving backwards, and it is honestly impressive that they found a way to even attempt to do that. If you hire Bubba Ventrone, that is one of the 7 guys that was actually coordinating a worse special teams unit than we had last year under Chase Blackburn. Unbelievable. In some ways, kind of impressive that you found a way to potentially make that happen. And he hasn't just gotten worse overnight. Look at the last 3 years of Brown special teams. He takes over this unit in 2023. They ranked 16th, the last kind of decent year of Browns football. 2024, they dropped to 30th in the NFL in special teams. And then in 2025, just this past season, they were last in DVOA in special teams. I am telling you guys, this is not a good hire. Bubba Ventrone, while maybe a bright mind, while maybe a great guy, has been a terrible special teams coordinator for the Browns over the last couple seasons. I don't want him in Los Angeles. There have to be better options out there. I urge Les Snead and Sean McVay to reconsider on hiring Bubba Ventrone. Just not a great decision. Let's get into the second half of today's show, though. Will Davante Adams be a Ram in 2026? That's what's coming up. That's what we're going to get into. I want you to start thinking about that question. If it hasn't occurred to you yet, it definitely is worth considering. And we'll tell you why in just 1 second. But first, what would your one-word reaction be if the Los Angeles Rams actually hired Bubba Ventrone? Mine would be, damn. Damn. That would be my one-word reaction. If I could go with the phrase, damn it, would be my two-word reaction. Not a great hire if you go in that direction. Please, let's just not do that. Rumors swirling around Adams, though. Over the last couple days, I've really started to see this discussion pick up, and I think it primarily sources from a Matthew Stafford interview, but people are starting to really worry about whether or not Davante will be back in 2026. So let's check out, what did Stafford have to say in this interview? This was shortly after the NFC Championship game. He spoke with, I'm Honestly, off the top of my head, I cannot remember. But it was a interesting interview. And this is what he had to say about Adams. He deserves the opportunity to at least go play in a game that gives him a chance to put a ring on his finger because he's that type of player. I told him, man, I wish I could have been better for him and gotten us to where we wanted to go just to give him that opportunity because he's such a great player in this league. He continues, he's got such an amazing legacy in this league. It didn't happen, and that's a tough pill to swallow, obviously referring to winning a Super Bowl ring. But I do appreciate the hell out of him and what he did for our team and what kind of teammate he was. He's a special guy, big-time player in this league for a long time. And I don't have to tell you this, that is not the most optimistic sounding quote about Adams being back in 2026 from Matthew Stafford. Absolutely it is not. I can definitely understand why a lot of the Ramley out there is hearing that interview, hearing that quote, and going, oh no, is Davante not going to be back in 2026? Well, I think it's important to kind of keep in the back of your mind some numbers here. He is under contract in 2026, but the reason why I think this discussion comes up is the cap hit situation. Adams' cap hit for 2025 was actually just like $14 million. It was a pretty low cap hit considering the receiver he was for LA last season. In 2026, that's going to jump to $28 million. And now you can save $14 million if you release him before June 1st, or you can save as much as $18 million if you wait until after June 1st to release Davante Adams. So there is a lot of potential cap savings that could come your way if you were to cut ties with Davante. But I think at the end of the day, do you even need it? Do you really need the extra cap space? We've talked about this before in our perfect offseason video, but the Rams have plenty of cap space. What we talked about, the cap space situation that we addressed and all the moves that we talked about potentially making was all with Davante on the books. Remember, the whole idea there is that we want to add Mekhi Lemon into that receiver trio with Puka, Davante, and Lemon. So why are we cutting ties with him? I don't know. What are you going out to sign that is going to be better than Davante Adams with that money? I just don't think that there is a ton of options out there. This is not a super strong free agency class. Again, that's something we talked about. There's not a bunch of great options lurking out there for the Rams in free agency that you could go spend that $14 to $18 million on. So bring Tay back. And I strongly believe that that is what is going to happen. I think he's going to be a Ram in 2026 because he's great for us this year and Stafford loves him. And what did he say in an interview just this past year? He definitely doesn't want to leave. He talked about loving LA and urging other players to stay here because in his words, the grass is not always greener. I think he's going to be back in 2026, but I want to know what you guys think on this one. If you want Davante Adams back next year in Los Angeles as a Ram, type me in the comment section. Sound off for me. Let me hear you. I'll be responding to you. And I will see you guys in the next episode of the Rams Report. We've got a mock draft coming on the way for you guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't miss it. And as always, let's go Rams.